You're meeting someone for the first time, and when you do, they give you this crazy, surprise, stunned look because they've obviously made some assumptions about who you are before they even met you. And once they do, their mind is blown. So they look at you all crazy and surprised like, hell nah, you ain't the boss.
You an entrepreneur, I got what you need.
Hey there, my loves. Welcome back to my channel and CPTV, the place for current and aspiring entrepreneurs who want the processes, tips, tools, and strategies to start and grow their businesses and passions in order to experience the true financial decision-making and lifestyle freedom of entrepreneurship. Does that sound good to you? If so, then this is the channel you want to subscribe to. So don't forget, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and definitely share this with other entrepreneurs in the world. I'm CP, and today I want to talk to you about some situations. You know, all those situations that you deal with and face as an entrepreneur when you walk through this journey of being a CEO. And if you are a female entrepreneur, there's probably a couple more pretty interesting situations like flirting or low expectations that you will have to navigate through. And today I'm going to talk to you about the top 3 sticky situations that you may have to deal with as a female entrepreneur and how to not only make it through them, but to prevail. This is actually the second video in the SheBoss 101 series. So I'm going to go ahead and link right here to the card, the rest of the series, so you can check out the rest of the amazing lessons about being a SheBoss. Now, let's get to work. Okay, situation number 1. I call it the stunned and surprised situation. Now, in this scenario, you're meeting someone for the first time, and when you do, they give you this crazy, surprise, stunned look because they've obviously made some assumptions about who you are before they even met you. And once they do, their mind is blown. So they look at you all crazy and surprised like, hell nah, you ain't the boss, or no, you ain't running this. This is a situation that I've seen so many times throughout my career as a female entrepreneur, and it is hilarious. I mean, if I had $1 for every single time someone would meet me or find out what I did and give me that crazy-eyed look that you get sometimes, I'd probably be a gazillionaire. Is that a number? Anyway, the very first few times that I experienced it, I was in my 20s. So I really did it messed with me a whole lot. It made me feel like an imposter. So it created this imposter syndrome in me instantly. I would question myself and my confidence would plummet into the depths of despair.
The pit of despair.
I'm just being dramatic, y'all. Okay, but you get the point. It would really mess me up. But then as I continued to become more confident and grow as an entrepreneur and more successful in my entrepreneurial journey, I moved from imposter to enjoyment. The reactions began to crack me up. I remember a time when I was running my insurance agency. It was a really large agency and I was constantly recruiting people. So I had a recruiting team that I worked with. So many of the candidates would go through a 3-step interviewing process. That was our thing. So they typically would not meet me until the very last interview. And my team would constantly refer to me as Cheryl throughout the interviewing process. So I'm not really sure why, but I think this particular guy was thinking that I was a white woman or something because he sat in my lobby with the leather chairs and the huge receptionist desk in a suit, waiting for his last and final interview with the white woman named Cheryl that he had imagined. I could tell as I approached that he was confident, relaxed, and very comfortable. So I walked into the lobby thinking this was going to be a good interview, walked over, reached my hand out to shake his, and I said, "Hi, how are you?" And he responded, "I'm great. I'm just here to see Cheryl. Are you her assistant?"
No, that one, how does it?
Yeah. I I kind of smiled and said, you know what? She needs a couple seconds. So hang out right here and I will make sure that someone grabs you and takes you back to her office. And he said, okay, great. So I proceeded to go over to my assistant and tell her to make sure that once I got back into my office for her to escort him back. And I sat there behind my extremely large executive desk as she escorted him into the room. And there it was again, that look of surprise and shock that I had seen so many times. And on his face, it was even more priceless. I mean, thinking back, I really wish I would have taken a picture, but that might have been a little weird and awkward, so I didn't, of course. I'm not sure if he was extra shocked because he had just assumed that I was my assistant. I don't know. But he didn't get the job, needless to say. So yeah, I mean, I can be pretty petty, y'all. Okay. You wouldn't probably have given him the job either. You know that. But at least this point in my journey, the stunned and surprised situation had gone from affecting me to making me take control. So now I'm at a point where I believe it to be a compliment. And I choose to see it as my responsibility to make sure that the stunned and surprised person will walk away from the interaction with me, never ever doubting a woman or a Black woman's capabilities enough to be surprised by her level of success again. It has become a mission of mine. Navigating this situation requires owning it, taking control of it, and being so kick-ass that you become their picture of success. Now, situation number 2 is a doozy. It is the stickiest of the sticky situations, but I have to address it because it has been a topic of conversation for me before. It is something that I believe female entrepreneurs have to navigate regularly. And I believe that it can be handled with such grace and such poise that it will not only prevent bridge burning, but because that's something of a fear, you know, but it will also create lifelong respect and great business partnerships. Yes, I am talking about flirting. And there really are 2 types when you are a female in business. First is the situation when someone is flirting with you. And the other is the situation where you are flirting with someone else. Yes, it happens. And you know that there is actually an entire movement around women being able to use flirting to their advantage in business. There are entire training videos on how to flirt effectively at work as an entrepreneur. Either way, I've got 3 key pieces of advice in order to get beyond this awkward flirting situation. And let me be clear, I am talking about benign flirting, not sexual harassment. They are 2 very different things. Now, let's get back to how to handle it. First, decide in advance exactly what you're going to do when it happens and how you plan to handle it. Yes, you have to know in advance what your standard is going to be so that you have a well-prepared response. Trust me, well-prepared responses come across much better than off-the-cuff, awkward, long pauses followed by some type of response, right? So you need to decide if you're going to say, no, I don't do that. I'm not interested. Or if you're going to say, sure. Or you can do it on a case-by-case basis. Whatever, you just need to have an idea of what you're going to say before the situation occurs. So if you're going to decide that you will take the stance that you'll never date a customer or a client, then prepare a response in the event that a customer or client hits on you. Second, be aware of when it's happening. You're thinking right now, but I'm serious. In fact, evidence from multiple studies supports the idea that among heterosexual people, men tend to overperceive sexual interest from women, while women tend to underperceive sexual interest from men. In other words, men tend to think women are into them when they aren't, and women tend to not notice when men are into them. Just knowing that fact alone helps awareness, because you may not recognize when someone in business or at a meeting or at networking event is actually flirting with you. And your intention may really be to focus on creating a partnership or a relationship and growing your business, but the other person is thinking about something totally different. I also say be aware, because you may not realize that what you are doing can be perceived as flirting, right? And third, in navigating the flirting situation is speaking up. It's okay to ask questions. It's okay to agree to a night out if that's what you want. It's okay to say, I'm not interested, if that's what you want. And all the other crazy, deep emotions that we may go through as females and as entrepreneurs, thinking that we're ruining a great opportunity or a great business deal because we said no, or this person could be a great connector and now they're going to hate me because I won't go out for drinks with them. Throw it out the window. Girl, business is business. And it's okay for you to say how you feel in a flirting situation, and be confident that you will still be able to push forward in business. Trust me, men are usually cool with it. I mean, they may flirt, but they also typically are okay when and if you say no thank you. And they will remain colleagues and amazing resources and even friends for years to come. Because y'all know we tend to get a little deep, right? But it's really not that deep, honey. So don't worry about pushing them away. My last but not least situation is what I call the treatment by assumption situation. This typically occurs when someone's preconceived prejudices impact their belief in your abilities automatically. And so they make a comment or suggestion that clearly exhibits these prejudices. I've seen this a lot. Sometimes people assume that as women, we are docile or quiet or meek. In other words, we don't really have a whole lot to say. So over the course of a meeting or conversation, they may constantly interrupt you or try and talk over you or even dismiss what you're saying. Another example of treatment by assumption is the belief that all women are extremely emotional and can't handle confrontation. So during the course of a high stakes business negotiation, they clearly exhibit the beliefs that you are going to break down and cry in the middle of everything. So they tiptoe around saying what they really want and feel, which makes a 1 hour long negotiation turn into a 3 hour long frustration. Sorry, I got a little personal, y'all. Anyway, both of these situations happen, especially when someone has preconceived notions or ideas about what a female entrepreneur is supposed to actually exemplify. And the best way to navigate this situation is to truly and always be yourself. Give everything 110% with the goal of blowing everyone's minds all the time, and understand the value and importance of your expertise and your skills. Then I want you to feel compelled to kick so much ass that you eliminate those assumptions. Simple, right? Knock it out the park every time. Now, these are not the only 3 situations that you will navigate as a female entrepreneur. They just happen to be some pretty common ones. And I think my favorite 3, to address. I hope that you guys got some real golden nuggets to use as you navigate business being a SheBoss, and that these scenarios and tips give you great ideas. So once again, do me a favor. If you like this, if you got some good takeaways, make sure to smash that like button for me. Hit that subscribe button and hit that notification bell. And don't forget, the SheBoss 101 series continues next Tuesday. Until next time, my love, go out there and practice what you're going to say when they flirt. All right? Love you. Mwah. Bye.